Σήκω χορέψε κούκλι μου, να σε δω να σε χαρώ. Σήκω χορέψε κούκλι μου, να σε δω να σε χαρώ. Τσίφτε τέλει ελληνικό, νίνα νάι αυρούμα, νίνα νάι νάι. Τσίφτε τέλει ελληνικό, νίνα νάι αυρούμα, νίνα νάι νάι. Όπα νίνα νίνα νάι, νίνα νάι νάι. Νίνα νάι αυρούμα, νίνα νάι νάι. Όπα νίνα νίνα νάι, νίνα νάι νάι. Νίνα νάι αυρούμα, νίνα νάι νάι.
Τέλει τουρκικό, νίνα νάι για βρουμ, νίνα νάι νάι. Τσίφτε τέλει τουρκικό, νίνα νάι για βρουμ, νίνα νάι νάι. Όπα νίνα νίνα νάι, νίνα νάι νάι. Νίνα νάι για βρουμ, νίνα νάι νάι. Όπα νίνα νίνα νάι, νίνα νάι νάι. Νίνα νάι για βρουμ, νίνα νάι νάι.
Don't get me wrong, this is a really good song, but it is a party song. To give you a little astrology connecting to these images, I'll focus on this image here. Focus on these images here. This is a Rohini moment. Rohini Nakshatra is here's Aries, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is Rohini. It represents that part of your life when you're feeding your mind with reading, beauty, things in your life about this life, things you see, you feel, you think, concepts. You're at the high school level and you are thinking about your future and you're wondering what you're going to do with your life. And you want to just embrace yourself into everything. You, not you in a group. This is Mrigashira, but you by yourself before you decide to join a group. This is Rohini. And you venture into topics. You read, you play sports, you explore music, you draw, everything that reflects the mind to express and strengthen the mind. That's Rohini. You are exploring everything about this world as if these are the songs, books, and sports and arts of your life. And that will keep you here, inside of the moon's orbit. That's what this is about, keeping you on the earth inside the moon's orbit. You do these things alone, isolated, in self-discovery. But you understand you don't want to do that all of your life because you can't. The other option is to join a collective, like this group. And you keep doing it for all of your life. The free spirit, you jump in, you enjoy your life, you enjoy the free spirit, everyone is enjoying life. Same with this imagery. Same with this imagery. You just enjoy life. And this is all appreciated under the moon, the most fickle of all luminaries. I will give you this description by Gina Lehane, real quick.
That's right. Rohini lies completely in the sign of Taurus. So there's a stubbornness, an earthiness, a deterministic factor here Taurians are very notorious for their materialism, desire to have luxuries and security, and Rohini especially embraces this completely. The moon and Venus together can give wealth, luxuries of life many times, but there is still this inherent restless nature. And so
Whoops. Mistake. All right. So here is Rohini. This is a nakshatra for it. It is in the middle of Taurus, and I believe it is the Hades cluster. But Rohini tells you how things are, not how you want to go. That's Venus. Of the two, Rohini is the moon's domain. But you're in the sign of the element of Venus. So either you just enjoy life under the moon's influence of Rohini, or you can also do what Taurans do, which is grow life. Okay, Venus grows, moon's energy fills. If you are around people who celebrate, you fill your thoughts with celebration, and you will celebrate. And this will expand. And expansion beyond the cup's fill. And expansion is a Jupiterian function. Let me just go back to this image here. No. Where is that at? I apologize. It's here somewhere. There it is. It's a Jupiterian function. And Jupiter is about the thighs. Now, let me get into that in a moment. Okay. Let me tell you something about Jupiter astrology in relation to the body you may not know. This information comes from Brother C. Freeman L. and the what he calls the Morse science. This is the sciatic nerve, which is the longest nerve in the entire human body. It doesn't go through the bone or alongside the bone, whereas it says here. It says alongside somewhere here. It goes through the bone, through the muscle. It goes through the thigh muscle. So the thigh is connected to thought. The thigh is connected to thought. You don't see. The nerves trace through the vertebrae. The nerves here they don't end here. They trace through the vertebra, okay, and split to go into both sides of the ear, directly into the brain. This is the intuitive faculty of how one hears the spirits. You don't hear the spirits from the pineal. You see from the pineal, but you hear them from the sciatic nerve. Every voice or whisper you hear comes from the sciatic nerve. In the Bible, when he touched him on his thigh in Genesis 32, this is where Jacob quickened the faculty by the thigh. When he wrestled, when he was wrestling, because by touching the other person's thigh, he activated his own, because it was the thigh of his God. It conveys Jacob's understanding of his God and his purpose. The sciatic vibrates the vertebra, which interacts in tandem with the system of the pineal gland for sight and sound. Going back to the letter N, the reason why N conveys negation is because negation is how you protect yourself from the outside world. Foreign to yourself. You invigorate the spirit when you invoke the N as a positive. But because every other culture has no, you invoke yourself from stopping, from accepting another point of view and protecting your own. Whereas in the Greek and in the Czech, which I just thought of, I'm sorry I don't have the comment in front of me, but you did remind me, thank you. and in the Czechoslovakian, and as well as other languages, there is a positive ne, or a yes as well. And the biggest benefit to these languages is that when you say ne, or an n positive, you have to fill it with a spiritual insight that will feed into your pineal. That will feed into your pineal here. Now I'm going to play this clip real quick by Anuradha Goyal in this interview by the website Beer Biceps. I like how she. I love listening to this woman. What she says.
Right. Also, the fact that you say that there is an energy which is much larger than me. So I usually talk, when I talk about this, I say that the biggest difference between a Western thought and Eastern thought is that Western thought says individualistic. I have complete control over whatever I can control. I control my life, or I can control my life, That's why we keep blaming somebody, if this person had behaved this way, if government have behaved this way, if this has happened, I can control it. While we say there is always a larger force which is controlling. So for example, we've been talking for 2.5 years and this hasn't happened. There was a larger force acting on it to make it happen at a particular point in time. Maybe I was not ready for it. Maybe you were not ready for it. Maybe time was not ready for this conversation.
Maybe Rajarshi Nandi had not been on the show from back then. Anyway.
Right. So there has to be there is a large.
So because of time, I got to cut it short. But another aspect in the West, to give you a little different perspective, is this.
So this is the gospel in shares. So the Protestant view of salvation goes something like this. In the beginning, God created man. And man had perfect fellowship with God. But then in the garden, man sinned. And he turned away from God. And then because God is so holy and righteous, he cannot look upon man any longer. Because man is sinful. No matter what man does, no matter how hard man tries, no matter how righteous man is after he has sinned, God still cannot look upon him in his righteousness and holiness because man is still sinful. And no amount of good works can repay God for the offense that man has given him. And so man is in a constant state of separation from God. But God in his love for man sends his son Jesus Christ, who becomes man and lives as we should have lived, in perfect communion and in sinlessness before God. And then at the end of his life, Jesus Christ is crucified. And when he's crucified, God does the unthinkable. He lays all of the sin of the human race on his son. And when he does that, because he is holy and righteous, he turns his back on his own son. And the son experiences the fullness of the wrath of God against us in our stead. Now we sinners, if we believe that Jesus Christ has done this, if we believe that Jesus Christ has died for our sins, we too can now have this perfect fellowship with God once again. Because when God looked...
So this video is it's an Orthodox priest talking about the Catholic description of how the Catholics perceive salvation. Afterwards, he'll go into the Orthodox view to give a comparison. I will leave a link, but yeah, I have to cut it short right now. But I just wanted to give. I will further elaborate this in my next video. I just wanted to give you a base.